Hey, Patrick here. I'm planning to pause my Patreon page and change some things around on Cyber UI. So here's my video explaining what's going on. Basically, I've been working on the Cyber UI project and trying to crowdfund it on Patreon for about 6 months. And I haven't seen the traction I wanted. I take a lot of the responsibility for that because I have not done a good job of sharing and promoting and marketing the project. And I constantly see things I could do a better job at. But if I step back, it looks like Cyber UI and this project and crowdfunding this project is not on track to be successful. I had hoped to even to be able to maintain this project and spend a few hours a week or maintaining it. I'd hoped to get above $1,000 a month in crowdfunding, and I've been at 2 patrons for the last several months, and I'm very appreciative of those 2 patrons, but I have to kind of look at the reality of the situation here, and when I do, it looks like crowdfunding Cyber UI is not what I should spend the next year, 2019, working on. I know there's a lot of things I didn't get around to trying to get the project in front of more people and collaborate with people, and I'd really been looking forward to doing a lot of those things. But at the same time, I've been feeling a little bit tired out about working on the project, and I've been feeling a little bit overwhelmed in terms of there would have to be so many things I'd have to do differently and substantially better, I think, to get to a good point where I could make a living working on this project. It would take such a retooling, and given that I've been working on this project, for quite some time already, I'm not confident that I could pull that off, even if I worked on it for another year. So I'm very grateful for the patronage that I've received so far, and for the people who've given me feedback and collaborated with me and been involved in any way along the way. But I'm kind of going to turn the page now. Cyber UI will become a side project for me. I'm not going to try and monetize it, and I'm going to see if I can pause my Patreon page or just shut it down so that I'm not still collecting income because I'm not going to be doing the weekly updates. I'm not going to be forcing myself to work on it. I'll still work on it when it's appealing to me, and it is an appealing project. I am still kind of excited about it as a project, but as a source of income, as a living, it's not working out, and that's how it is. So what I'm going to do now is probably take a break for a month or 2 and relax. I've started getting into meditation recently, and that has been a fascinating experience that I'm loving, but it's also quite difficult because it brings up emotions and makes you kind of stare at them, emotions that you might have kept put aside or out of sight for a while. I'm trying to work on my physical health, my mental health, and also just take a step back and figure out what my next move is. I really was thinking I would just try and keep ascending this gradient that I was on with Cyber UI, but I noticed this week that it's been a few weeks since I posted the weekly Patreon supporters updates, and my heart really hasn't been in it, and I've been wanting to just take some time off anyway. So I think this is as good a time as any to close the chapter on this income generating strategy that I've been focused on for the last year of trying to crowdfund Cyber UI and see what else I can do instead. I've got a ton of ideas. I have too many ideas almost because I've actually been feeling down this week because I have so many emails, which are mostly just emails I've sent to myself of notes of like, read this article, or maybe this would be a good business idea, or this would be a good business name, or try things in this way, or spend more time on this. And it's been feeling kind of overwhelming. So combining that with the kind of meditation and personal growth directions I've been wanting to explore, I think it makes sense to move Cyber UI off of my shelf right now, especially insofar as having to make progress every week in order to justify the patronage that I'm receiving. So it's going to be a side project. I'm going to take the next couple months and figure out my next move. Thanks for being involved in the project. For those of you, it's funny talking to my patrons because I only have two, and I don't know how private they want to be, so I'm not going to name them. But I'm very grateful for the patronage, and I'm, how do I say this? I'm a person. I like talking to people, and so if this cybernetic user interface project interested you, and you felt like I didn't execute on it well enough, probably if somehow I get famous in the future and you're seeing this video, you're probably, it's too late for you to get involved now, but I'd be interested in chatting with people about cybernetics, feedback loops, systematization, technology, automation, artificial intelligence, meeting people's needs. How can we do that as a society, whether via business or a nonprofit or information? Those are a lot of the things I'm thinking about. Okay, so time to move on to the next thing. See you around.